Hey, it's your boy Jack here. Welcome to The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 3 recap, review, and predictions video. Ooh, that was hard to say. That took a lot of tries. But let's dive into it. But before we do, I want to let you know about a couple of things. So firstly, one of the things I do every Sunday before The Walking Dead starts is I release on my Instagram, which you can check down below, my favorite line of this previous episode. If you want to check out the previous episode's favorite line, you can check that out on my Instagram or right now. But yeah, if you want to know my favorite line from this week's episode, you can check it out on my Instagram on Sundays. So yeah, let's go dive into the review. But if you don't want to see the review, you can fast forward to this time right here, where you can see the predictions part of this video. So yeah, let's dive into it. So firstly, in episode 3, I think the one thing I really like is the attack sequence that they're building with the Kingdom. I really like that. I think it's a really great build-up. They have like part 1, which is a lot about inspiration, like inspirational, really built off episode 1, about like Ezekiel's role as a leader. Then it really builds that up a lot. I think that what I really like about part 2 is like how successful they are in the battle. And I think the one thing I'm really excited about with this next coming up episode titled Some Guy is how they're going to implement maybe the factor of death and everything. I'm really excited to see that. And yeah, I'll talk a lot more about that in detail in part 2. Along with that, I really am happy that Morales got brought back, and I love how he got brought back, because what I like about this season and how they're really setting it up is they're really putting a lot of moral dilemmas against each other. Like you have the idea of Tara and Jesus, and Morgan versus like everybody, and the whole idea of what the need, like the Savior's lifestyle is versus what the lifestyle like the Alexandrians are in, and the hilltop and everything, and the Kingdom. But you get that whole idea of how these two ideas conflict against each other, but also the idea of how war is viewed among different people. So I really do like that. But yeah, moving forward, I did like that with Morales, how he really inputted his perspective, because I liked it. It was on point. I think it was a good monologue that they did. It was sad to see him go, but like there isn't really an option. There isn't really a spot to really put him into this series, I think, right now. I think it was an easy kill-off. Although it was sort of unfortunate to see him go. But yeah, I liked Morales. I'm happy they brought him back, and I like how they brought him back, really inputting the perspective of the Saviors. And like, I think the one thing I really liked about the Morales speech was that the fact that he, like the way that he spoke about it and everything, it was so similar to how how Rick came into the Alexandrian safe zone, and how similar everybody else in the Rick gang got brought in, because ultimately they were survivors. They survived, and they were really on their last legs, basically, because they were trying to find food. They were trying to find survival, because they basically got knocked on their butts once the prison fell. And everything. So yeah, that's basically very similar to how everything happened. So like I like how similar the dialogues sort of are in that sense, like the dialogue that Morales had to that. So yeah, moving forward, I really did like how Eric and Aaron, like that whole like love scene. It was really cute. I liked it. Thumbs up. Great acting by Ross Marquand and Jordan Woods Robinson, I believe that's his name. But yeah, I think that was a really good scene. The one thing I really did hope, and I'm happy that they sort of did that as its own like love scene and everything, but I really did like how they did the whole like love scene. I think it was like sort of nice. But honestly though, as a comic book fan, I would have just loved for them to just shoot him in the head, because I think that would have given it such a big effect there, and like such a big like moment to be had. So yeah, what do you think about Eric's death? Let me know down below. Also, I'll probably be editing questions in this video. Any of those questions that will be popping up, feel free to let me know down below what your thoughts are. Also, moving forward, I think the one thing that I really liked about this episode that really is a great development into the further episodes and the further into the second half of this series, is that they brought Maggie into this show, and they brought Maggie as like a character, and like it was really interesting to see her as a leader and how she led. Along with that, moving forward, I really did like about how they had that whole, like, they really did continue that dilemma between Tara, Morgan, and Jesus about whether we're creating a new world or we are in war, and like we need to kill who we need to kill. We shouldn't be justifying it, because I think that was a really great moment to be had. I was happy about that, because like it continues to be such a great development there of like the idea of ethics in war. I gave it a thumbs up. I think it's a good part of the series. Moving forward as well, I think the one thing I really like is that they have Jesus on such a great spotlight right now. They have him as a part of the hilltop, being a leader there, being such a big pivotal role right now. I love how they've developed him in these first 3 episodes as such a really big figure, and like sort of voice of conscience and stuff, and I really do like that. And I've said it before in my season 8 predictions video, like Jesus and Dwight need to be the melody of this season, or like if this season was a song. They need to be the 2 most important characters that really need to bring people together, or really need to communicate messages really effectively. And yes, we're going to talk about Dwight in the predictions part. So yeah, overall though, I really did like about how they've really put the comic book to the screen so far, and like I like that. I think it was smart, it was well put out, and it was really good storytelling. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with it. I give it a complete thumbs up. This episode, I think it was good. I felt like maybe they could do a bit better, but it was also a very slow episode because it really needed to develop a lot of characters. So yeah, here we go. Let's dive into part number 2 here. The predictions of what's going to happen in the next episode, Season 8, Episode 4, titled Some Guy. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think they've really been building up the kingdom. I think that's going to be a really interesting attack that's going to be happening. This being said, because like they've been doing it where it's like, okay, the first episode, episode 2, was really about seeing how Ezekiel was as a leader. Episode 2 was really about how their fighting style is, how Carol is really being infused into the kingdom, and part 3 is really, I think, will be about, like, instead of winning, the actual idea of losing people. Because ultimately, yes, it is about a lifestyle, but this is also about war. So the one thing I'm going to say about this upcoming episode that's going to be really interesting is seeing how the kingdom attack is going to be developed and how it's really going to be done. And I'm saying that because, like, on a level of storytelling, they've really developed this and built it up really well. Obviously, in the comics, the actual kingdom attack was just really just shown as a massacre. There wasn't really any story, there wasn't really any build-up. So by providing this story, by providing this reference material, I think it's really smart to see and it to be done, and I'm giving a thumbs up of how they've done it so far. But really, in order to show it justice, I'm excited to see how how many people are going to die, and how that is going to affect Carol, how that's going to affect King Ezekiel. If Shiva does survive, is that going to affect her, or is that going to be affecting like Dwight, or not Dwight? If that's going to be affecting like any of the sort of main kingdom people, like Jerry or anything. And yes, I will still be petty if Jerry does die, because hashtag petty for Jerry. I'm really excited for that though. I think that's going to be a great attack sequence. I'm sort of wanting Carol to be another amazing, have her give another amazing moment there, because like it is sort of like an awesome moment that I'm excited to see, because she is like an amazing character. I really loved her. Like, she's had such great moments and stuff, and I don't really think that they've had like a great moment for her in a long time, and I'm really excited to see if they're going to be building her up more as a character and give her like this really awesome moment there. But yeah. Along with that as well, the one thing I think is going to be really interesting is how is Rick gonna get captured with like the whole like gun hunt that he's doing, as we've seen in the previews? Like, is he going to go and like try to get the 50 meg guns or whatever, and is he gonna try to do that, and like is he gonna be successful with that? So I'm really excited to see about how Rick and like the whole Rick and Daryl chase scene is gonna go. I'm excited to see how it's gonna happen. Overall, I think the one thing that's going to be really interesting here is the idea of what's going to happen out of that. They've been really building this Rick and Daryl relationship that's been going on. And I think what may happen, I think what would be really interesting to see is like if Rick does get captured by the Saviors or anything like that. Whether it be the Scavengers, which are like sort of like the side party with Jadis, or if it's going to be maybe something along the lines of like Rick and Daryl get captured by them, or are they going to get captured by the people that they're chasing? Overall, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen there. I'm excited for that, but like it's also like I'm sort of like I'm the only person that's going to say this probably. I want to see other characters rather than Daryl be a really strong character. I know Daryl as a character. I know that he's a strong character, but it's like everybody else is real. Like I want to focus on other characters here. I want to see like other characters that aren't Daryl. Like I feel like I've been seeing so much Daryl this season already, and it's like, okay, I get it, Daryl. Like I think you're awesome and you're like a badass, but it's like, dude, come on, like calm down. Let's get on the same page here, and let's sort of like more focus on Rick rather than like all Daryl all the time here. And I feel like Daryl's been really dominating the storyline. But yeah, that's my little hate speech. I'm not gonna hate on Norman Reedus. I really do like him as a character, and like I really do like Norman Reedus overall. But yeah, that's just my opinion there. So let's move into the last two storylines here. I'm hoping they do something with Maggie. Obviously, the whole idea of the prisoner saviors coming there, and Jesus being there, and Tara being there, and Gregory coming out of nowhere begging for mercy and coming back into the hilltop. Like, that's the one thing I'm excited to see, is how that will be put in. And I'm really excited to see maybe her character really stand out as a leading character in that moment, and how her as a leader of this colony is going to deal with this all, and how her as a leader with maybe King Ezekiel will come together if Rick does get captured. Because Comic-Con footage, people, let's read between the lines. That's just my prediction there. But yeah, moving forward though, I think the one thing they've been really trying to do this season, and this is just a prediction here, I feel like what's probably going to happen is we're going to see a dynamic shift in episode 4 and 5 on how the story is told and who's being focused right now on the story. Meaning that, like, I think instead of seeing Rick and the hilltop, we're going to be more focusing on the saviors and the scavengers and Dwight more as a really main staple and pillar in that storyline rather than Jesus. I really hope that they do that, because it's like I'd love to see that other perspective. How is Negan surviving? How is Dwight dealing with being locked in the sanctuary? How is the Scavengers surviving? Is the people of Oceanside going to be included in this season? I don't think so. But like if they do, are they going to get included in that moment? And I'd really like to see a real clear build up in the like at least probably in the like next 3 episodes, in 5, 6, and 7 of these saviors, and like the progression of maybe Negan getting out of the trailer, and how the conversation between Father Gabriel and Negan will go down, and how to see if the saviors will save Negan, and how is he going to retaliate against Rick and his army that he's made. So yeah, I'm really excited to see if this whole work, like this whole building in the next, like in the 5, 6, and 7 episodes, I'm really excited to see if those episodes are really going to be a build up, and we're going to see maybe Carl, and maybe like Carl and Michonne, and maybe some other characters in the Alexandrian safe zone, and like sort of build that up a bit, so it's like it doesn't just come out of nowhere, the attack, where it's like you get to see how Carl's living and how Michonne's living and how they're defending the safe zone from the Saviors themselves and from other threats that may come. But yeah, that's the one thing I'll say about that. Overall, I would love to see if they could develop those together in the 3 episodes. And I'd love to see, like, if people do come back from the from war to the Alexandrian safe zone and like how it is and everything. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Overall though, feel free to give me your thoughts down below about what is going to happen in episode number 4, Some Guy. Thank you so much for watching this far. My name is Jack Skinner. If you want to see any of my other episodes of The Walking Dead and their recaps and their reviews and their prediction video, you can check that all down below, along with that on my channel. And yeah, also feel free to wait and follow me on Instagram on Sunday if you want to see my favorite line from this week's episode. Along with that, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jack Skinner. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe right here. And if you want to see the episode number 2 recap, The Damned, you can check it out right here, where I'm sorry I am slightly out of focus. I am an idiot. I didn't really realize that, but whatever. If you want to deal with my out of focusness, check it out there. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on my social media links. Bye!